After building multiple 7-figure dropshipping brands over the last 5 years, there's really a lot of tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Of course, if you work hard and keep up with consistency, you're gonna become successful in anything that you do. But for some, finding success in e-com and dropshipping is a little bit harder and takes a little bit longer. So I put together a list of tips and tricks for beginners to make this whole journey a lot easier. I hope you guys take all of these into consideration. You'll have to let me know your thoughts, or just share your experience so far. Before we get into the video, there's 2 quick things I wanna mention. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Ecom Remastered member Emily. She's been in the program since the beginning, and it's been great to see her brands grow to over $1,000 a day, and even setting up physical pop-ups at festivals. Thanks so much, Emily, for always contributing to the community. It's always great to have you on the calls. And I can't wait for you to make the leap, quit your job, and go into ecom full-time. And this is me slightly pressuring you to commit to this, Emily, so you've got it. If you want to be like Emily and join the best ecom program and community out there, make sure to check out the link in my bio or visit ecomremastered.com to see what we're all about. One more quick thing, if you're new to Shopify and you're new to dropshipping, I do have a Shopify partnership program. So if you want to start your Shopify store for just $1 a month for the first 3 months, 97 or 98% off, I'll have a link down below in the description so you can save that money and take that offer. All right, now let's get to the beginner tips and tricks that you should be focusing on when you're starting your dropshipping or e-commerce brand. All right, the first tip involves finding a winning product. That's probably one of the biggest things that people kind of struggle with in the beginning. People oftentimes preach and think that you have to find this trendy new product that no one else is selling. You can do that, but the problem with that is that you're always going to be looking for this next trendy item that you want to sell before anyone else finds it. It's going to be a headache, and it might only last a couple months, so you might have some minor success for 1, 2, 3 months, but you're not growing a sustainable brand in an evergreen market. Think about like the fidget spinner. Like, yeah, people made a quick buck off of it for a few months, but then everyone started selling it. You could find them at gas stations. It was just short-lived, and you don't really want to do that when you're building a dropshipping store or brand. You want longevity. I personally want to be involved in e-com and run brands until I retire. I don't want some just one-hit wonder kind of product and make, 50 grand off of it or whatever. So my point is, when you're looking for a winning product, I really want you guys to focus on looking for marketing angles. And if you don't know what a marketing angle is, it's the way that you're advertising the product to a certain demographic or specific audience. A great example of a rebranded product is something like the makeup cooler. You saw this pop up out of nowhere in Urban Outfitters. It's literally a mini fridge, but it's specifically for your makeup. Refrigerators have been around for a very, very long time. The only difference with selling this product and why it became successful was their marketing angle. They figured out the angle was, if you want to cool your makeup or there are certain skincare products that need to be cooled, you should have a little mini fridge for this, right? And you can put it on your bathroom counter. That's a perfect example of a marketing angle that changed the product completely. So when you're looking at products, I want you to write down all of the marketing angles available for that product. The more you can come up with, the more opportunities that product has for success. You can test all of those different marketing angles. That's what I like to preach when looking for a winning product. It's really helped me out, especially selling in the beauty and cosmetics industry. Definitely keep that in mind when you're looking for your first winning product. Tip number 2 is that you don't have to spend money on paid ads right away. Back when I started in 2018, there was no TikTok. I mean, it was probably around, but it wasn't as big as it is today. No Instagram Reels, no YouTube Shorts. It was all done pretty much through paid traffic for testing. And nowadays, you don't really have to do that. You can actually just find a product that you think is going to sell well, has a lot of marketing angles, order the product to your house, or send it to an influencer that can film some UGC content for you. Chop it up, edit it in a bunch of different ways, try to follow trends, and post on TikTok or Instagram Reels 3 times a day. Hopefully you get a viral video if you're good at making that kind of content and you get one that, say, has 1 million views. If you were to pay for 1 million impressions on Facebook paid ads or Instagram paid ads, it would cost a lot of money. Depending on your CPMs, it can cost thousands of dollars. You have the best opportunity ever when starting a brand right now. You have so much reach out there for free. So you don't have to jump into paid ads right away. You can test your products on TikTok, Instagram, and then move the best performing ads over to paid traffic on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever it may be. This is something that you guys should really take advantage of, but you don't have to do this. You can go straight into paid traffic if you're good with analytics and you really know how to make an ad and you're confident with your website. There's nothing wrong with that. Paid ads are more sustainable. You can kind of control how much traffic you're getting. You know exactly what kind of cost per purchase that you need to get to be profitable. And you're going to be collecting a lot of very good, valuable data. The bottom line is you don't have to do paid ads right in the beginning unless you have the budget or you feel comfortable doing so. Tip number 3 is outsourcing the work that you're not good at. This is something that's really, really hard because in dropshipping or e-commerce in general, if you're a one-man team, you are essentially the marketing team, you're the financial team, you're the supply chain team. You are literally doing everything. It's all aspects of business rolled into one, so you have to kind of juggle all those things. And let's say you're great at creating content and making TikToks and you're getting them viral and you're getting a lot of traffic to your website, but your landing page is terrible, right? Maybe you're not the best web designer. Acknowledge the skills that you're good at, focus and do those yourself, and the ones that you're bad at, you need to outsource because There's no point in trying to waste your time learning, especially if you don't have a natural knack for it. You can hire someone on Fiverr or Upwork for very, very cheap to help you with these things. They will do anything from web design to creating ads for you to running your paid traffic if you want to do that as well. You can find a freelancer for pretty much anything. So acknowledge the things that you're bad at and outsource them. Your time is very valuable, so you need to spend it on the things that you're actually good at, and it's going to move the needle. Tip number 4 is to set realistic goals. I know a lot of people watch TikToks or YouTube videos or Instagram Reels of people in Lamborghinis, and they're like, yeah, I made $1.3 million dropshipping my first month. They get so hyped and amped up, and then they're like, oh, in the first week I'm going to make $30K after starting my dropshipping store. You know, it's possible, but the thing is, it's probably not likely. You're going to have to go through a lot of trial and error, and a lot of consistency takes place in the success in ecom. I want you to set realistic goals. I'll give you an example for myself. When I started dropshipping, I wanted to cover my rent in Hollywood. I was thinking that if I could make anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 extra profit a month, that would be fantastic. That was like my first goal. But the thing is with e-commerce and dropshipping, once you find something that works and you kind of pass that breaking even point, it's fairly easy to scale up. You just basically would add more money into your budget or duplicate whatever you're doing. To bring back the example of me, after I turned profitable, the first full month I made net profit, I think it was $17,000 to $19,000. So my goal was to make, what, $2,000 profit a month maximum, and I was really happy because I could save all the money from my supply chain job, my 9 to 5. And it turns out the very next month I made almost $20,000 profit. Set your goals low so you don't get discouraged if you're only making $50 a day profit. You really don't know how high you can scale it and how fast you can take it to the next level. Tip number 5 is to keep track of what you're testing. This was a big mistake that I made in the beginning. Like I told you, my first full month after turning profitable, I made almost $20,000. I was scaling so fast and I was not keeping track of what I was doing. For an example, what I mean by that is if you're testing a new audience and that's the variable that you're changing in your paid traffic, you're keeping the ad the same, you're keeping the copy the same, products the same. You test it and then maybe it works, it doesn't work. But if it doesn't work, you're gonna wanna write that down, the exact ad setup that you had, because you're not gonna wanna repeat that later on and make that same mistake and then waste another $100 for whatever you spent on paid advertising. It's really, really important to keep like a journal of things that you're testing and write out everything. Like there's never really too much that you can write down. The more details, the better, so you don't make the same mistakes. Tip number 6 is don't settle on the first supplier that you find. I see people getting into dropshipping, they're really focused on finding a winning product. They build their website as fast as possible. They start selling the product. Maybe they get 10, 15, 100 sales right off the bat and they're super happy about it. And they didn't really look into their supplier at all. They didn't really talk to them. They just kind of found them on AliExpress and they are selling the product for the price that they want, so they imported it onto their store. They fulfilled all their orders with the supplier without vetting them. Turns out that supplier takes 90 days to ship the product and it comes beaten up in a package, and now there's a bunch of returns that the customer is requesting. That's always a big headache, so don't settle on the first supplier. I really want you guys to vet suppliers, message them, make sure that they have good communication, ask them what their shipping times are, ask them what shipping routes that they have, ask them what kind of package it's going to come in. You really want to build a partnership with your supplier and just don't settle on the first one that you find. Make sure they're reliable, otherwise there's going to be a lot of headaches down the road. Tip number 7 is sticking to one niche, and this is not really a popular thing in the e-com space, I guess, but the idea behind this is if you stick into one niche, one, you can cycle through products on the same website and it's not going to look weird, because let's say it's a branded golf store and the first golf product that you test doesn't work out, you can just swap it in with another golf product and your store is already built. It's got a good name, got a good logo that fits the golf niche, so you don't have to spend time rebuilding a website. So the first thing is for efficiency, and the second reason to stick in the same niche is because you're going to learn so much about that market. You're going to learn so much about that audience in that market. You're going to learn what kind of things that people look for in the ads, why those ads worked, how they react to those ads, what resonates with the audience. And overall, you're just going to collect so much data and learn so much about this niche and how to sell it that you're going to continue to sell in this niche because it's the easiest. That's why I always recommend students and people to pick a niche that they are passionate about or at least interested in, because oftentimes you're going to stick with it. You already know about it. You know how you'd want to be advertised to yourself. And that's something that I didn't know early on. I sell in the beauty tools and kind of cosmetic niche, and that's not something I'm super passionate about. But I had people around me that could give me advice on what things would sell and what things wouldn't and how to advertise. So I went with that niche. It took off, it worked, and I've been selling in it ever since. And it's kind of boring to me. I don't really like it. I wish I did something else that I was more passionate about. But I feel stuck in it because I know the market really well and I know exactly how to advertise. So I'm kind of stuck in it a little bit, but my goal this year is to start a new brand in something else. just so it's more enjoyable for me. So I always recommend beginners do that because you will end up probably sticking within that niche that you choose. Tip number 8 is multiple strategies work for different people and different products, right? I know that you're watching this video right now, so you're probably looking up content and creators on TikTok, YouTube, etc. on how to dropship, right? Or start an e-com brand. And everyone's probably saying something different. The things that I say are probably different from the next video that you click on. And the thing with that is people get so stuck up on the idea of like, oh, there's a secret success platform or there's this secret sauce that this guy's giving away and he says it works 100% of the time. And it's like, it's just not true. Like, it's so different for every single person, every single product. The way you advertise a beauty product is way different than you advertise a golf product. The way you advertise on Pinterest is way different than the way you advertise on Facebook. There are just so many different things that work for different people. So just take each one with a grain of salt, test the ones that you think and people that you believe and trust the most. And when you find your success, you're actually probably gonna have your own secret formula that works for you. And that brings me into tip number 9, which is that it does matter which advertising platform that you advertise on. And the reason behind this is mainly demographics. So if you're advertising on Pinterest versus Facebook versus TikTok, they're all different audiences and the people that are on these platforms are very different. People that are on TikTok are generally younger, have less money to spend compared to those on Facebook, Instagram, and people on Pinterest are mainly female and 80% of them, I think, have over $80,000 a year in income. So definitely keep that in mind when you're choosing your advertising platform. Make sure it aligns with your product, make sure the audience is on that platform. Otherwise, if you're selling a product that's targeted like towards 65 plus or something like that, you probably shouldn't be on TikTok. You're probably gonna get a really high CPM, no conversions, barely any clicks. Unless the population on TikTok in the 65 plus range is growing right now. Maybe it is, I don't know. But really take that into consideration because that is very, very important. Tip number 10 is to get the most use out of your spend. So even if you're starting off, there's gonna be some costs that you're incurring, right? If you're trying to pay traffic, you're gonna be spending money on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it's at. If you're ordering the product to your house, if you're signing up for your Shopify plan, if you're paying for apps, whatever it is, right? Obviously it takes money to build a business, but luckily enough, dropshipping is one of the cheapest businesses that you can really start. You can start with $250 or you can start with $10,000 depending on your budget. Obviously a higher budget is going to be better. You can afford things like mentors, you can test a bunch of paid ads right away. You just have a higher and quicker chance of success, but you can start it off on a very low budget of like $250. But my point is with getting the most out of your spend is that you should be utilizing credit cards. I literally just got to Hawaii today for the next month and we just did a full circle around the world and all of like our flights, all of our hotels were paid with credit card points besides the Airbnbs. If you live in the US and you open up like a American Express Business Gold Card, you get 4 times points on all advertising spend on like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. These points can add up really, really quickly even if you're just testing and especially if you're scaling your brand. I've accumulated millions of American Express points where then you can transfer them over to different airlines or hotels or whatever the best bang for the point buck is, I guess. You can get a ton of free flights or hotel stays, or you can just use it as cash back on your credit card. If you are financially responsible and you will pay your credit card off on time, there is no reason not to accept these credit cards and get these free offers and free cash. You're basically just getting a percent back on everything that you spend for your business. And the last tip isn't really a tip, but it's more for freebies. If you guys want like 190 winning products, if you guys want 10 examples of good ad creatives, what a good funnel setup looks like, send me a DM on Instagram. It's austin.raven. And if you want the list of 190 winning products, just shoot me the word list. I'll send you guys over all those freebies. I hope these tips were helpful. These are the ones that I put together and think that would be the most beneficial for beginners. If you guys like this video, please remember to leave the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then leave a comment down below on what kind of video you want to see next, or if you have any questions. All right guys, as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.